So it's been about 1.5 years since I put the motor in. It's run quite well, although you can see now I have it torn down again. Fortunately for me, I put it in, so tearing it down is something that I feel reasonably comfortable with. You see I tore the aluminum, so I bought some patch for that. You can get tape. You can see where it's come away from the firewall over here. I want to put a self-tapping screw in the firewall, hold that up. So the reason I tore the turbo off is because it was leaking around the bell housing. A lot of oil. So I went online and I looked, and the people said probably the turbo pedestal. So I pulled off the pedestal and the turbo and the pedestal, and I'm replacing the O-rings. While I'm at it, I noticed the up pipes had black soot marks around them. So I gave them a tug, and all the fittings were loose. So that just goes to show you, when you get a motor from somebody, maybe you should, probably then would have been the time to redo it, but well, I'm not completely convinced that you need the other, which I'll show you what I bought was the bellowed up pipes. I'm not completely convinced you need those, but certainly, had I known what I know now, I would have disassembled, or at least asked the manufacturer or remanufacturer, or disassembled those up pipes and put put Loctite on them and make sure they were torqued properly, because they were all hand tight when I got under there last week. So that's no good, hand tight. So because one of them was pitted, I decided to replace them. So I bought some of the bellowed International up pipes, which I'm going to show you here. It's my Duke, one of my dogs. I'm babysitting this one. So here's the old ones. I had originally wrapped them to redirect the heat away from what I thought were important, more or less important areas. I think it was the cab mostly. I wanted to redirect the heat away from the cab, but you see the soot all around here. So I was seemingly leaking like mad, and then it's pitted, really pitted. I don't know how pitted it is. I guess maybe that's from it being loose. So you can see how these donuts work. They just compress in there like that. These are the, I'm sorry, I did not show it. They compress like this in there. So if they would have been Loctited on, I don't know that they would have come undone. I mean, they say it's because it expands and contracts, but I mean, the whole engine expands and contracts, so why doesn't the rest of it come apart? I don't know. I'm not that smart, obviously, but International made the up pipes with the bellows. So I bought the kit with this is supposed to be ceramic. I don't know. They said it keeps them cooler and less heat against the firewall. Sounds like, if that's true, then that's a good thing, I think, for the cab, at least, for the vehicle. So here I am putting together, according to the instructions. You put one leg together, which is the passenger leg, first. I torqued it down with some semi-permanent Loctite, and it also said to put it around the flange, so I put it all the way around the flange, because I read the instructions. I usually don't do that. But in this case, I thought it would be a good idea. I'm going to put the bolts through, because I noticed when I took off the old one, I couldn't get them out all the way. So I'm going to start it with the bolts in place. It says just to drop this down the top of the engine. So I'm going to do that, although I haven't been able to get rid of the exhaust downpipe without removing a lot of stuff underneath. I couldn't find any information on how to do that. well, I mean, how to get it out without removing the cross member and loosening the tranny and all that. I may end up having to do that. But right now you're going to see that I'm going to drop this bad boy in the hole between the bracket there, which is for the transmission, and the up pipe. I can't put my hand there because I want to drop it right in that area. It should go right down to the point. If it does, then I'm golden. Now what I did on the back of the exhaust, the exhaust downpipe, is I kind of had to, well, I can't even explain it. I did disconnect it from from the main line, and I moved the parts around trying to get it out, and then I just pushed it up to create this space. So we're going to see now if that works. There's your gaskets for your pedestal, by the way. So I'm presuming those were the bastards that were leaking. And interestingly enough, I found one of my bolts that I put in from the bell housing had come loose. Hadn't fallen out, but was out. So these are the perils of doing your own work, of course. The upside is, or the good thing is, of course, I can blame myself, and I didn't pay anybody, and somebody else could have done just as sloppy work. So, and I would have paid them. So this way, at least I can fix it now myself, which I'm pretty happy about. Well, I'm unhappy that I'm fixing it, but that's a whole nother story. Anyways, that's what I'm doing.